Your soulmate hired an investigator to know your secrets. They fainted when the investigator revealed that you are. My beloved child, don't skip this, because what your soulmate discovered about you was so unexpected that even the investigator reportedly struggled to explain it at first. Your soulmate wanted answers. They wanted to know the secrets you never shared, the parts of your story you kept hidden, and most importantly, they wanted to understand why they still felt such a powerful connection to you. So they hired someone to quietly look into your past. But stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you, and the final revelation is not what your soulmate expected to hear. The investigator searched through the pieces of your story, your choices, your struggles, and the moments that shaped you. Then came the moment that changed everything. Your soulmate was expecting to hear something shocking about you, something that would make them question you. Instead, the investigator looked at them and revealed something completely different. And this is where the story becomes impossible to ignore. The investigator said, "You have been looking for secrets. But you have completely misunderstood this person." Your soulmate went silent. Because the investigator had discovered that you are not the person they thought you were. You have been carrying a version of yourself that almost nobody gets to see. Behind your quiet moments is a heart that has survived things you rarely explain. Behind your distance is a person who learned to protect their peace. And behind the strength everyone notices is someone who once had to rebuild themselves privately. Don't skip now. Stay till the end, because the investigator had one final piece of information that made your soulmate's entire attitude change. They discovered that you have been hiding something, not because you wanted to deceive anyone, but because you learned that some parts of your heart are too valuable to place in careless hands. Then the investigator revealed the part your soulmate never expected: you have been far more important to people around you than you realize. Your presence has quietly changed lives, your words have stayed with people, and your absence has been noticed more deeply than you ever imagined. But there was one discovery that left your soulmate completely overwhelmed: you were never truly chasing attention, validation, or approval. You were simply waiting for someone who could recognize your heart without forcing you to prove its worth. And suddenly, your soulmate understood why you felt different. They understood why ordinary connections never seemed to explain what they felt around you. My beloved child, don't scroll away, because this is only the beginning. Something huge is waiting for you, and the next revelation will explain exactly what the investigator discovered about the one secret your soulmate has been trying to understand. My beloved child, the investigator had not finished, and this is where everything became even more surprising. Your soulmate thought they were paying for information about your secrets, but instead they received a revelation about your character that they could never have predicted. Don't skip. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. The investigator explained that the more they looked into your story, the more one pattern kept appearing: whenever life gave you a reason to become cold, you somehow kept a gentle heart. Whenever someone disappointed you, you chose silence instead of revenge. Whenever you were misunderstood, you often walked away rather than wasting your energy trying to convince everyone. Your soulmate suddenly realized that the mystery was not what you had done, the mystery was how you had remained yourself after everything you had experienced. And then the investigator mentioned something that made your soulmate freeze. The people who truly know you describe you completely differently from the person your soulmate thought they were investigating. But then came the detail that changed the entire conversation. The investigator discovered that you have a remarkable ability to notice what others hide emotionally. You can sense when someone's smile is not genuine, when their words are covering something deeper, and when a person is struggling even while saying they are fine. Your soulmate suddenly remembered all those moments when you seemed to understand them without being told anything. That was the part they could no longer ignore. They had been wondering how you could sometimes know what they were feeling before they said it, and now they were hearing an explanation that made their memories suddenly connect. Don't skip, because the investigator then revealed something even more personal. You have spent a long time learning how to read people because you once needed to understand situations without being given all the answers. That ability became part of you. You became observant. You became patient. You learned to listen between the words. And your soulmate realized that perhaps you had noticed far more about them than you ever admitted. Then the investigator leaned into the final discovery of that meeting and told your soulmate something they were not emotionally prepared to hear. The person you are investigating may already understand why you are doing this. Your soulmate went completely quiet. Because suddenly, the thought entered their mind that perhaps you had sensed their curiosity all along. Perhaps your silence was not ignorance. Perhaps your distance was not indifference. Perhaps you were simply watching to see whether they would approach you with honesty instead of assumptions. Stay till the end, because this is where the story takes a completely unexpected turn. The investigator had uncovered one final clue about you, something connected to the way you love, the way you protect your heart, and the reason you do not reveal everything at once. And when your soulmate heard it, they realized the biggest secret was never something you were hiding from them. It was something they had failed to recognize about you. My beloved child, the room became strangely quiet when the investigator revealed what they had discovered next. Your soulmate had expected another detail about your past, but instead, they heard something that forced them to rethink every conversation, every pause, every moment you seemed distant. Don't skip. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. The investigator explained that you have a habit of carrying your deepest thoughts privately. You may smile, continue your routine, and appear completely composed while an entire storm of questions is moving quietly inside you. Your soulmate suddenly remembered the moments when you looked at them without saying much, as if you already knew something they had not yet admitted. The investigator said that your silence should never be mistaken for emptiness. Your silence is often where your strongest decisions are made. And that revelation hit your soulmate harder than anything they had heard so far. Then came the discovery that made your soulmate question their own behavior. The investigator found that when you genuinely care about someone, you do not always chase them. You watch. You listen. You give them space. You notice whether their actions match their words. And when something feels inconsistent, you quietly step back instead of creating unnecessary drama. Your soulmate realized that some moments they interpreted as you losing interest may have actually been you protecting your emotional peace. Don't skip now, because the investigator then explained something even more unexpected. You have a very specific way of deciding who deserves access to your heart. You do not give that access simply because someone says the right words. You look for consistency. You look for sincerity. You look for effort when nobody is watching. And once your soulmate heard this, they started remembering every little thing you had done that they once considered insignificant. The small pauses. The careful questions. The moments you noticed details they thought nobody remembered. Suddenly, those moments looked completely different. But the final sentence from the investigator was the one that stayed with your soulmate long after the conversation ended. The investigator told them that the biggest secret they had discovered was not something hidden in your history, it was the depth of your self-respect. You may forgive, but you do not forget what a situation taught you. You may care deeply, but you are learning not to abandon yourself just to keep someone close. And your soulmate realized something that changed the entire meaning of their investigation. If they truly wanted a place in your future, they could not simply ask for your heart, they would have to show you that their intentions were genuine. Stay till the end, because your soulmate was about to hear one more revelation. One that would make them understand why the connection between you has felt so difficult to explain, and why the investigator believed there was far more to your story than anyone had initially realized. My beloved child, the investigator finally uncovered the detail your soulmate had been secretly hoping to find, but the answer did not bring them the comfort they expected. Don't skip. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. The investigator explained that your story contains a pattern your soulmate had completely missed. Whenever you felt deeply connected to someone, you became more observant, not more careless. You noticed changes in tone, pauses between words, sudden distance, and even the smallest differences in behavior. Your soulmate suddenly remembered moments when you seemed to know something was wrong before they ever said it. The investigator said your strongest secret was not some hidden event. It was your ability to recognize what people are trying not to reveal. That realization made your soulmate wonder whether you had already understood their feelings long before they were ready to admit them. But then the investigator revealed something even more unexpected. They discovered that you have been quietly rebuilding your standards for love. You are no longer impressed by temporary attention, dramatic promises, or beautiful words without consistent action. You want something that feels peaceful, honest, and real. Your soulmate heard this and suddenly understood why certain attempts to get closer to you never worked. They had been trying to figure out what would make you open your heart, while you had been watching for one simple thing: sincerity. Don't skip now, because the next revelation is the one that made your soulmate's expression completely change. The investigator told them that you may already have a strong idea of who genuinely cares about you and who simply enjoys having access to your attention. You may not confront everyone about what you notice. Sometimes you simply become quieter and let their actions reveal everything. And then came the revelation that your soulmate could not easily forget. The investigator said that your greatest secret may be that you are much closer to a major personal transformation than you realize. Something about the way you think, choose, and protect your peace has changed. The version of you your soulmate once knew is not exactly the same person standing here now. You have become more selective, more aware, and far less willing to settle for connections that leave you questioning your worth. Stay till the end, because the investigator then connected this transformation directly to your soulmate. They explained that the reason this connection feels so unusually intense may be because both of you are being forced to confront truths you once avoided. And your soulmate suddenly realized that the investigation they started to uncover your secrets may have accidentally revealed something about themselves instead. The next revelation is where everything turns around, because the investigator is about to tell your soulmate what they believe you have been silently waiting to hear. My beloved child, the investigator's next words made your soulmate stop thinking about your secrets and start thinking about their own heart. Don't skip. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. The investigator said they had noticed one powerful truth throughout everything they uncovered: you do not need someone to rescue you, complete you, or constantly reassure you. What you truly want is someone who can stand beside you without making you question your value. Your soulmate suddenly remembered the moments when you pulled back instead of begging for attention. They remembered the times you became quiet when something felt wrong. And suddenly, those moments no longer looked like rejection. They looked like self-respect. The investigator explained that you have learned to protect your peace, and that is precisely why superficial connections cannot hold your attention for long. Your soulmate realized they had been searching for something hidden about you, while the real revelation was sitting in plain sight. Your heart is deeper than your words ever reveal. Then the investigator revealed the detail that made your soulmate's emotions shift completely. They said you have a tendency to remember the smallest things about people you genuinely care about. A sentence someone casually mentioned weeks ago. A preference they thought you forgot. A change in their mood that everyone else ignored. You notice these things because when someone matters to you, you pay attention. Your soulmate suddenly understood why certain moments with you had felt strangely personal. You were not simply listening, you were remembering. Don't skip now, because the investigator connected this to something even bigger. They explained that you may have experienced moments when you gave more emotionally than you received, and instead of announcing your disappointment, you quietly adjusted your expectations. That is why your silence can be so powerful. You do not always ask someone to prove themselves. Sometimes you simply watch what they naturally choose to do. And then came the sentence your soulmate never expected. If you want the truth about this person, stop looking for what they hide and start paying attention to what they consistently show. Your soulmate was stunned. Because suddenly, the investigation itself seemed unnecessary. Your actions had already been telling the story. Your patience. Your loyalty. Your boundaries. Your ability to walk away from confusion without losing your softness. Something huge is waiting for you, so stay till the end, because the investigator was about to reveal the one thing your soulmate had completely misunderstood about your connection. They had assumed the strongest part of your bond was attraction, curiosity, or mystery. But the investigator believed it was something much deeper, recognition. And once your soulmate understood what that word truly meant, they could no longer look at you the same way. My beloved child. Something changed the moment your soulmate heard the word recognition. Don't skip. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. The investigator explained that sometimes a person can feel strangely familiar without having a logical reason for it. Not because of some perfect story, but because certain qualities, conversations, and emotional patterns seem to connect in a way that feels unusually natural. Your soulmate suddenly remembered how quickly certain conversations with you became meaningful, how easily they noticed your presence, and how difficult it was to simply treat you like everyone else. The investigator said the mystery was not that you had some secret identity. The mystery was why your soulmate kept noticing you even when they were trying to focus elsewhere. That question stayed in their mind because the more they tried to understand you, the more they realized they were also discovering parts of themselves they had ignored. Then came a revelation that made your soulmate rethink the entire reason they had hired the investigator. The investigator said they had found no simple explanation for why your presence had such an effect on them. Instead, they discovered that your connection seemed to challenge their usual expectations. You were not easy to place into a category. You could be warm without being overly available, caring without losing your boundaries, and quiet without becoming invisible. Don't skip now, because the investigator noticed one especially unusual pattern. Whenever your soulmate thought they had finally figured you out, another side of your personality appeared. Not a fake side, not a hidden identity, just another layer of the same person. Your soulmate realized that maybe this was why they kept wanting more answers. They were not simply curious about you. They were trying to understand why someone they could not completely predict had become so difficult to forget. And then the investigator delivered the revelation that made everything feel personal. They told your soulmate, "You may be searching for the secret that explains this connection, but the real answer may be in what happens when you stop trying to control the outcome." Your soulmate went quiet. Because they suddenly understood that their investigation had been driven by uncertainty. They wanted certainty before vulnerability. They wanted answers before honesty. But now they were being confronted with a completely different choice. Keep watching from a distance, or finally become genuine about what they feel. Stay till the end, because the next discovery goes even deeper. The investigator had uncovered a specific reason you may have remained guarded, and once your soulmate learns it, they will understand why winning your trust cannot happen through curiosity alone. It will require something far more powerful, something your soulmate may never have realized you were silently measuring all along.